What's up, everybody? Welcome to our channel. Today's video is a Married at First Sight Season 18 Couples Deep Dive. Before we get started, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know what everything we got coming out. So in this video, particularly, we wanted to take the opportunity to kind of dive deeper into our thoughts and impressions of the couple so far in the season. I think we may be midway in the season. I think the next episode is or the next episode comes out when?
Next week.
Yeah.
The 7th?
Yeah. So, but the next episode is like the 1 month anniversary and stuff like that, or the 1 month anniversary. Right. But yeah, we wanted to take a deeper look into these couples because, you know, our opinions are, you know, changing, so to speak. The couples are MM and Ikechi, David and Michelle, Madison and Allen, Camille and Thomas, Juan and Carla. Or Carla and Juan. I don't like saying the man's name first. I always put the woman's name first, even though, anyway. we kind of want to have.
I'm going to start off by saying it's almost 10 o'clock if he starts rambling.
I'll ramble. And it's not because I'm tired. It's because she's tired.
Sure.
What couple we going? MM and
Let's
Ikechi?
do it in order.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go MM and Ikechi.
What do you need to know about them? You made me look up a couple of things. Okay, so MM and Ikechi. MM is 34 years old and she's a nurse practitioner. And Ikechi is 41 and a college counselor.
Neither has been married before.
Nobody on this season has been married before. I think they both have been engaged though.
Yeah, both have been engaged. One is a cheater. I don't think that's a significant thing to talk about though. I don't think it's fair to talk about cheating until a person has cheated in that
relationship.
Yeah.
I guess.
You said Ikechi is a teacher.
College counselor.
And MM is a nurse practitioner. What was your initial thoughts at the wedding, if you can think back?
I felt like the wedding did a lot. And I say it did a lot on Ikechi's part because flying your homeboy in from Germany to be a part of this wedding and performing this song that you always thought was going to be performed for your wife. I get it.
Yeah.
Because you said that this was going to happen. But I also, if I was getting married at first sight, and I had a friend that I wanted to perform at my wedding, I would have waited for a so many year vow renewal.
Yeah.
And I say that because like they can only invite so many people to the wedding, right? So we had a smaller wedding. We had less than 100 people, but I still wouldn't consider our wedding to be like intimate. When you get into the Married at First Sight of it all, your wedding is intimate because it's like 20 people total.
Right.
Like some folks, you be like, nah, my boy, no +1 for you. I would have just wanted that to be the thing that happens with my like person that I know is the one for me. Right. And with Married at First Sight, it's still a toss-up. But also, me, Artieka, doesn't feel like Ikechi is here to be married to her. So, or anyone for that matter.
Well, I think what is confusing or something that I just thought about was at the wedding, and you brought it up too. was when he was saying that he was a single child or only child, but clearly he talked about having siblings. I'm not sure if it was from that episode or if it was episodes later, but it's not important.
It was before the honeymoon.
Right. But for a person to actually have siblings,
a brother,
and to say that they were an only child, like mention that they were an only child and not correct it in the sense of I lived with my mom. I was the only child there.
But he lived with his dad too.
Right. So it's like you have to clean that up.
Yeah.
You know, I think.
And you know how I feel about that because I am blended child, like blended family galore. And we joke with my dad all the time that his favorite children are the ones that are not biologically his, meaning my mama's son and my sister's other sister, like by her mom. Like, if he could trade in the 3 that he had biologically, he'd take them too.
Yeah. No, I think when they met, went down the aisle, said I do and everything like that, I thought everything was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought this was a great couple.
You made me want to go back and watch their wedding just to see if there was anything that I missed.
Like, I mean, like
as far as a red flag.
I'm pretty sure it was because we're all in the glitz and glamour of they met and they happy with the outcome.
I never thought that they were happy.
I thought they were satisfied with the outcome because the conversation more so than the looks of each other. Yeah. I don't think either. Like, they're nice looking people. But I thought they were bonding over their heritage.
Because they're both Nigerian.
Yeah. I think a pivotal moment for like looking at it, a pivotal moment in their relationship so far was it's 2 of them. It was the one time when they were on the honeymoon.
He tried to make her cry.
Yeah, right. I think that was a pivotal moment in their relationship because at that moment he realized she was kind of like of a hard shell.
Yeah.
And it was a time where she had to step in and say, hey, I ain't finna cry over anything because I wasn't taught that way.
And I don't think that that's I wasn't taught that way, like that situation, right? I think that was good for you.
Right.
Personally, don't care.
Like, it's almost like he was trying to egg her, like him trying to egg her on to, like, be like, and him realizing, she's not that type of girl or type of person.
I agree with you on that. And the thing with that particular situation is that you saying why you decided to be an educator or work in education is not something to cry over. Like, I'm missing it. Yeah. Like, I'm missing where you wanted her to pull this emotion from over something that you feel strongly about.
Yeah.
Not her.
And then the second pivotal moment was when they were looking at each other's apartments. I think her place is a townhouse. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's a 2-story something.
Yeah. But when they were looking at it, he was like, let in mind, his place is nice. You got to realize he moved to Chicago from Texas, and you know he's not doing bad,
right?
For himself, he got a nice place, nice view, everything like that. But hers is an established thing. Like, the expectation of her living where she lives, like, I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? If she had a house, I think her house would look magnificent. I don't think it'll be huge because she doesn't strike me as a person that I want to live in an 8-room house. But, you know, she has a very nice house. And I think he was intimidated a lot by how her house was. Like, you know, the makeup of it and how much she seems to be doing better than him.
Well, I mean, okay, we just have to look at it for what it is. You're a teacher to me. to a lot of the general public, teachers are underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get into teacher versus medical professional, because nurse practitioners can prescribe medicine. They can pretty much do everything a doctor can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just don't have to have the years of medical school and residencies and all those things.
Yeah.
When you look at it and compare apples to apples, she should be able to make more money than you.
Yeah.
She has a much higher earning potential. And then the fact that the type of work that she does is something that is elective. People spend the big bucks for elective things.
For sure.
So, I mean, she gonna make more money than you. Like, why would I think that someone who went to law school wouldn't make more than someone who went, I don't know. I can't think of a degree path.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just
basket weaver.
Right. It's like, actually, I use the thing because we talk about this a lot. Psychology as an undergraduate degree sets you up to go to grad school.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
That's it.
Why would I expect that somebody that has completed their JD and is a practicing attorney would have the same or less earning potential as someone who has a bachelor's in psychology?
So we're on the same page as far as he overreacted.
Yeah.
When it came to her and money.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't physically talked or we haven't heard them talk about finances.
Mm-hmm.
But
she's tried to though, like with the cameras not there.
Yeah. Oh, she did.
Remember they was talking about when she was talking to her, when he was talking to the cousins and they were like, she's being intrusive and all these things.
Yeah.
Because she's asking him about combining bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing after this?
And I think for Ikechi at this point, because everything took a turn somewhere. Mm-hmm. Because now he's made her, when they talk to Dr. Pia, he's made her to look like a predator to him, right? And I think that's the downfall of their relationship, one. Outside of the defensiveness that he had when he was having a conversation with her friend and her cousin, and that spurred from the first conversation he had with her cousin. So it's like now that you basically say she's some type of predator to you, and she looks at you as a piece of meat. I'm like,
come on, bro.
Right. Like thoughts come in your head. Like, are you just saying this because you think? Or like my thought was.
And I know we're going to do another video.
Yeah.
But someone made a comment that said, if she was treating you this way, why are you continuing to sleep in the same bed as her?
That is a good question. If he was truly bothered by it. But it's man, I just with that, in my eyes, there's no comeback from that. In my eyes, it's you can try, but that's already y'all gonna say no in the end.
If I feel this way about you in particular, about the way that I feel that you've been treating me, and it's something as quote unquote aggressive, because that's the words that he used, and this is what, his side of it.
Yeah.
I would not feel comfortable. And then he was very passive aggressive. I'm like, baby, you got all the tools to use your words.
Yeah. And I think that's what bothers me the most is he's a very intelligent person and he's a wordsmith.
Because he wrote a book.
Yeah, that
he won't let her see.
Right. But it's more so of you're trying to manipulate the situation in the sense of trying to make a bad guy and a good guy type of deal. Is something that you're not admitting. Like the easiest thing for you to do is say, hey, I don't want to have sex with you. And this is why. You can't just say, I don't want to have sex with you, because for a person to be attracted to you, and to want to have sex with you, especially a woman. For a woman to want to have sex with you, that means she likes you in some form. Because I know, like, men are capable of doing it without having any type
women
of...
are too.
Women are too, but it's more... You wouldn't see that more.
But I also don't feel like you go get married at first sight and attempt to have sex with your husband just because.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like
I'm factoring in the married at first sight part.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like most of the time, like, you gotta have sex with a person because you like them, you know. But I just feel like this couple here is right now on the ropes, and there's no comeback.
Right.
I don't. Unless she's just like, I gotta be married. I'm gonna stick it through. He's a good guy. He's just making these rules. And unless she's like that, which I don't see her being that way, I don't see them saying yes at the end.
Yeah, this isn't why she got married.
Yeah, right. Next couple. Who we got? David, Michelle and David.
Okay, I did do them as well.
Yeah.
So it says David is 36, and it says he has a multifaceted career.
Yeah. Yeah.
I laugh because
I think about Philip Hudson on anyway, Philip.
I know who Philip is.
He be like, what do you say? Drive for Uber, do Uber Eats.
I've never seen him talk about this. So it says he spent 16 years managing his family's bar, which has equipped him with entrepreneurial and interpersonal skills. In addition to this role, he works as a project manager and a family resource specialist. So we have to X out the bar manager because the bar gone. So he's a project manager and a family resource specialist. Michelle, don't know what she does. I just realized that. No clue. We know she's 38 and she's a professional with a strong sense of independence. That's what this is. You can continue talking about her while I look to see.
Oh, it's not that important.
No, I just want to know.
Yeah, Michelle, like from the jump, man, that on the wedding day, Michelle was like, nah, I'm good. And it's only because I can't remember when they said I do and how their interaction was, but at the reception, he basically word vomited all the information about him. And I think that was nerves. Me, personally, I would have took another approach to it. We would have had conversations, and I would have started with the things that are important to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I don't understand why it was important in like the first few days to be like, I live at home with my parents. I smoke cigarettes. I had a tattoo of my ex-girlfriend's name on my chest. Because for me, I don't have anybody's name tattooed on me, right? But if I did, unless you ask me, I wouldn't bring it up.
Yeah, there ain't something we would talk about. Yeah, I have tattoos. That's about unless you talk about it. Like it was a talking point for me in college. But now it's like I don't care if you got tattoos.
I dated a guy who had his mom's name tattooed on him. His mom was deceased. I didn't know his mom's name during that time frame. Yeah. But I saw the name tattooed on him. But I never thought to be like, is that your mama or is that like some girl you was talking to? Because he had a lot of tattoos. And it was just one of those things where it's like, ink might be temporary. I mean, might be permanent, but that person's place in your life could still be temporary because we watching a whole show of people get married to people that they don't know.
No, but I think the pivotal moment or the big moment for him was that him just word vomiting and, you know, at the reception and telling her everything about him, trying to get it all out. And I was like, you can't do that. Right. And then for her to like basically flip out like that, That's a tough one.
The crazy part of her flip out for me was that, like, him staying at home with his parents made her go cry in a bathroom.
In the bathroom, yeah.
And I was like, at this point, she don't even know the context of him staying with his parents. And I mean, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt with why he stays at home, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like everybody around him is like, he can move out whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
But him staying at home with his parents, all she heard was, I'm gonna have to live there too.
I don't even think it's that. I get what she's saying.
But that's how her reaction came off.
Yeah. But I get what she's saying when she's like, dang, it's not success. Because if you do look at a person without knowing what the backstory is, it's hard to be like, that's a very successful guy, but he stays at home with his parents in their basement. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be like, oh yeah, that's okay. It is okay because things happen, and you know, the opportunity to do that is amazing.
Yeah.
But
I want my kids to be able to, if they're down on their luck, they're in between homes, like for whatever reason, like it would have been financially amazing for us to be able to move in with one of our parents when we were looking for a house.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I think if we were in our home state, we would have been able to move in with somebody. Mm-hmm. Maybe not my mama, your mama, somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
But we live in another state, so I get it. It's a luxury to me to be able to have family that wants you to come back.
But I think for that situation, there has to be some type of plan. Mm-hmm. And instead of saying, hey, I live at home with my parents because I'm saving up to buy a house, you know, and, you know, we'll talk about it later. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no assurance.
I just wouldn't have brought it up then.
I wouldn't have brought it up until it came up. But it would have been a question.
The episode where we go to the house. Yeah. By the way, I stay with my parents. I was I was renovating a space because he was renovating the bar, apparently. Yeah. I was renovating the space. It became a money, like I was bleeding in this place. I decided that I was going to go back home, regroup, figure out what I want to do. And then I was going to go from there. In the meantime, of me figuring out what I wanted to do, I got a call from Married at First Sight. Just didn't make sense for me to go.
Yeah, right. Go get a house and, you know.
But that would have been how the conversation went with me.
Yeah, like the conversation would be completely different. Because because you can't just be like, I live with my parents indefinitely. Mm-hmm. But you have to have some type of plan. And I feel like that's what he was failing on. Mm-hmm. And that's what for her, the crying and can't get past it, because that's what she's stuck on. She looks at him as being a one of those deadbeat guys. Mm-hmm. You know, he smoked cigarettes. She went to his crib. It's a keg in his house. So he's drinking all the time. She's looking at him like a party animal who's just in their parents' basement. It's like them guys that are depicted in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Like their mom is their best friend. Mm-hmm. And they live in the basement and they try to show, I'm independent. You know, I pay bills, I do this, I do that. But
I watched a podcast with some girls from old episodes of Married at First, or old season of Married at First Sight. And they were talking about how Married at First Sight, when they find you a match, they'll throw a question out about the person. And it's really a deal breaker for you. Yeah. But you're like, I don't want to say no to this and I could be missing out on love of my life. Yeah. And I'm like, y'all got to realize.
Right.
that it's a deal breaker.
They be like,
and they asked Michelle, "Would you be okay?"
They did,
and she said, "Yeah."
But that was felt coerced.
That was
when they showed that, because I didn't see it in the thing, but I saw it when Dr. Pierce showed it back, and that was coerced.
That was a question, but
you knew that
it was
her
because
answer
she wanted
no.
She wanted to be picked, but she said yes.
Yeah.
I can't go by what you wanted your answer to be.
Yeah, you right.
You verbally said yes. I gave you exactly what you agreed to. The thing is that, and I get it, when you are dating someone, because they're not dating, but obviously when you're dating someone, there are small things that you'll let slide because of a case-by-case situation. She was thinking of it in the small things that I would let slide. If he checked off every other box that I had, I could let it slide that he lived at home because he's going to move out.
Yeah.
But that's not the
That's
situation.
not what we got with David. And it's crazy too, because David's a nice guy. David will give you the shirt off his back.
He just loud. That's my only gripe with him.
Like,
I'm obviously not trying to date him.
Yeah.
But I just be like, hey, everybody, bring the volume down. But that's me.
But I also think that Michelle is like, their ruin is because of Michelle.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's no coming back from, like, the experts can't even help.
People are calling her a producer plant.
Yeah.
Basically, like, we gotta have something to beef up the drama. Michelle, go.
Yeah. When she was on that boat and crying and said, I don't know why I did this, I was like, yeah, bro, y'all might as well say no now.
Stop wasting our time.
You got a nice trip out of it that you tried to enjoy.
What people don't realize is there's always somebody on the season that has an adverse reaction to the person that they're married to. But in the case of like Gina and Clint, Gina didn't like Clint. I don't think Clint liked Gina either. But they did it in a way that didn't make you hate either one of them.
Right, definitely.
And there's a couple on this season, we haven't gotten to them yet, that I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you have to be this dramatic about it?
She don't. She does not.
I think that's where the issue lies. Because if you just didn't like him, cool. Nobody's faulting you for not liking him not being your cup of tea. Yeah. But it's your reaction to everything.
Yeah. Let's go to Carla and Juan.
Carla and Juan.
You had.
Oh, shoot. Did I do Carla and Juan?
Yeah.
I did. Juan is 36 and he's a sales executive. But he also is an entrepreneur because he's developed 2 apps. Carla is 33 and is a professional hairstylist and business owner. She also is a Pilates instructor, and I think I don't know if she does Reiki or if it's just.
What is it?
Don't worry about it. Or she just does, like, is it Reikis that do sound bowls? What is the person
that's not important
doing? I want to know. Sound bowls called.
I thought they were cool at their wedding.
A sound bowl healer.
Yeah. I thought they was good at their wedding. Just the heritage itself, like he's Colombian.
He's Colombian. I can't remember what she is.
I think she's Mexican.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Sounds good.
Hispanic.
Sorry to disrespect your culture, Carla, if that ain't it. I don't know. It's not listed.
But no, like I think they were awesome. Mm-hmm. Actually, at the wedding, I think they were good because Juan likes to party, and Carla likes a good time too.
Juan seems like the guy that gets trashed, and then the next day gets up and it's like, I'm gonna go do this.
Right. And
everybody be looking like,
How?
How?
How are you back like that? What pill did you take
Right.
before?
He's like, I'm the life of the party. And everybody else the next day be like, you remember on the wood when he was like, where the aspirin's at?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what everybody else is doing.
Right.
While Juan is like, I went and ran a mile.
But no, I think that's what it was. His love for partying and dancing and having a good time. I don't want to say tricked us into thinking he liked her. Because as we saw throughout the whole the 8 weeks or 7 weeks we had so far, by now we're at the point where he's like, I'm not really feeling her. Mm-hmm. But also he didn't know her. He was just using her face card. Mm-hmm. You know.
I think for me, I don't know what Juan dated as far as nationalities are concerned, mm-hmm. right? But I feel like Juan was like, I don't have to explain the culture.
Yeah.
You understand it. My family's gonna get behind that part at minimum. It's just going to be very easy to do this. Like, you're not bad on the eyes. You're an entrepreneur, so you understand where I'm coming from. And then she got pissed off at him on the honeymoon, and things ain't been right since.
No, I honestly, I think it's two things that was a turn off for him. Is that she didn't clean up the way that he likes to clean up. Mm-hmm. And she's not the workaholic like he is. Mm-hmm. The energy is money thing is really like tore me up. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait a minute. If energy is money, then what is work ethic? Because if
energy,
you know what I'm saying? But it's like you have to, like, I'm a person that believes in if you put the work in, you're going to get the result that you want. Mm-hmm. But you got to put the work in. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, okay, so I get it. She's just like, money is energy. And I symbolize it to mean money is a tool, right?
Yeah.
And I also think that you shouldn't be frivolous with the tools that you were given. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the things that I could tell bothered him, because he was like, juice costs like...
Right, he said something about it.
He said like $8 or $9, and she was like, he really don't know, it's like 13. And I'm like, yeah, he don't know because he's not spending his money that way. And I think that that's one of those things that definitely can draw a divide between a couple, is the way that people spend money. Mm-hmm. Because you and I spend money on things very differently.
Yeah.
Right? Yours is all tech. Mm-hmm. And I'm like house things.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that we have clashed with it, but I've definitely said things to you about ways that you spend money, and you said things to me about ways that I spend money. But it's not a clash. Mm-hmm. But I think that when you couple the money with I got up and did this, and that's a thing that a lot of couples have to get away from, is I could do this, so you should be able to do this. I know we had a party last night, or I know we did this last night, but I still got up and I did X, Y, and Z.
I also think it's an aspect of, and I'm going to bring it up, is the aspect of Juan feeling like he has to take care of her immediately. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to come into a situation thinking that, mm-hmm. especially to a person that you're like trying to date. Mm-hmm. Even though they're married, they're trying to date and find out who each other are. And immediately, if he says yes, she has to move in with him, which the expectation is to be like, y'all come together. But everything then, like, they come together in his space, mm-hmm. you know?
And I personally would not like that. And I know in a lot of situations, there's no way around that. Mm-hmm. But I would much rather we figure out a way to see if we can get production to help us negotiate our ways out of our leases, so that we can move into a place together, Because
that's hard.
It's very difficult to move into somebody's space and have it feel like it is equally yours.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how people do that with like a spouse owning a home and then you move into the house that they own.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you try to start making changes and they're like,
right.
The glasses go right here.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot for a person to be open to those things.
Yeah.
And if you couple that with I'm not cleaning this up because this is yours, or I'm not doing this to the way that you like it to be done, it can definitely cause some problems.
Yeah. She's been looked upon as being a liability more so than a helpmate or a partner. And I think that's the biggest downfall that they're gonna have or having. I can't really remember the conversations they had with Dr. Pepper and Pastor Kyle, but I do remember they wasn't touching when they sat down, and that was like right after the honeymoon. They sat down with them.
She said that he wasn't he wasn't giving her any affection, which I think that they're overlapping affection with touching or physical touch as well as intimacy. Like they're grouping all of that as like one big.
Well, I mean, like that's. Things. I mean, like when you get down to the basics of it, it's what you like, right? And she might like that. I need you to touch me and you know and stuff like that.
Yeah, she said she wanted to be touched and told she was pretty.
Yeah, so it's
I think
like,
it was her that said that.
I'm not sure. But it's like if that's what your thing is, that's a form of intimacy for you. And if you're not receiving it, you have to have that conversation. You have to say, hey, this is not happening for me. But then you have to ask, why isn't this happening?
Yeah.
You know, what's going on with the person that's like not doing it? And my answer that I feel like Juan is not saying is he's turned off from her because she's going to be a liability to him. Like she's a dependent upon him if they go past this 8 weeks on decision day. So I just, you know, I have a strong feeling about that, and I don't know what she can do or what he can do for her to turn that around.
I don't think there's anything that can be done at this point.
I don't either.
And it sucks because you see people go down these dark holes and they try to climb their way out of it as a couple.
Yeah.
And it just never happens. Or if it happens, it's so close to the end that nobody feels like I should waste my time continuing because it's just so much work. Right.
And it's funny because people get stuck on one thing.
Yeah.
You know, and you be like, if you let this one thing go, and it's hard, but they'd be like, if you let this one thing go, how would that relationship be? And Juan and Carla is in a tough spot, but Carla hasn't talked about the things that are the turn off from him. But you can look at Juan and tell he's like repulsed by the things that she do. So
it's 1:00. You're just getting up.
Right. Madison and Allen.
I think Madison and Allen were the couple that I had the most hope for.
Yeah. Allen is 35 years old.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
He's a financial systems manager.
Okay, and she does the same thing.
She's a software consultant.
Okay.
And she's 29 years old.
Okay.
And the similarities are the job process.
Okay.
The job is different, or they're like one side of the job and he's on the other side of the job, something like that. But their jobs complement each other in some shape, form, or fashion.
They understand each other's worlds.
Yeah.
Got it. Again, they were the couple that I had the most hope for. just because I felt like, and I still feel this way about Allen, that he is the type of person that can get along with anybody, right?
Yeah.
And that's 90% of the battle is the getting along. Like, he's not going to ruffle any feathers on purpose. And it seems like he's also going to try to fix things that are wrong. You just got to tell me. Yeah. You tell me what's wrong, I can fix it. Right,
we can go at it.
And I just don't, I feel like she's getting caught up on little things that don't mean anything.
Like, yeah, like the thing that I was like at their wedding, their conversation that they had, I was like, they're going to be cool. Mm-hmm. You know, they were laughing, they were joking, they were actually talking to each other, genuinely finding out information about each other. So I was like, okay, they're going to be all right. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until the honeymoon when I started noticing, like, she don't really think he's pretty. Mm-hmm. You know, for like, she don't like his style, and, you know, she's not attracted to him in that way.
And the thing with his style that bothered me with her is that this is Allen on vacation.
Right.
And you're judging Allen on vacation as Allen in totality. Let me tell you, my husband wears some things on vacation. There's a picture of me and you in Jamaica, and you had like on a blue tank top that had like parrots all over it. Yeah. You wouldn't go to work in that.
Nah. I was looking fly though.
And I think that it's the equivalent for him. Yeah. It's like, this is my vacation gear. I'm not wearing this to work.
But the thing that she's, and I feel like it's because they're on Married at First Sight, right?
They have to find an angle of something to be the point of contention.
But what she's been stuck on, him not being the same guys that she dates.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because she likes pretty boys.
Right. And I'm like, but you sat down here and talked to this dude. Mm-hmm. If you laugh, he got you. You know.
And he be coming with the jokes.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that I noticed for them is that they communicate. Mm-hmm. They do it. They did a terrible job at the club.
Mm-hmm. And Allen actually came in our comments about that.
Yeah, they did an awful job at the club with communicating with each other. But everywhere else, we've seen them communicate on a level that you would think adults would talk to each other.
You got drunk and you didn't come to my event. I'm angry with you. Well, I'm going to tell you why I did it.
Right.
And it's like, you can appreciate that side
Definitely.
of it. And it's just like, she just has to get over he's a people pleaser.
And that was told.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The biggest issues with this show are things that are usually told to them by the families. Yeah. But he's a people pleaser, and then he's not a pretty boy.
Because the thing that I never got was, why is it wrong to be a nice guy? Because being a people pleaser is one part, but just being genuinely a nice person.
I think that people take that, if you're not here to ruffle feathers, you're a pushover.
Yeah.
And it's not that you're a pushover. You could literally just be a person that doesn't have a strong opinion about certain things.
Now we did see moments where her singleness and his passiveness both collided with each other. Because when they got back from the honeymoon, she went out with her friends and then kind of stayed over. They had a failure in communication.
Well, that's because she said she was coming back. I don't personally think that it should have been I'm out.
Right. She not on the first night. Maybe the second night, but not on the first night. Even if it was planned, change your plans.
Girl, I got married.
Right. I got married.
I have a whole husband at home.
I got married. We moved into this place. I need to know who this dude is that I'm living with now.
I have a whole husband at home.
Right. And that's the thing that I didn't get. Like now that I think about it, right? Why wouldn't you take the opportunity, as much time as you possibly can, to get to know this person? Because you have to live with this person for 8 weeks.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and not even just that. It's like, if I have to say that there's a level of desperation. We all can agree on that.
Yeah. Like, you come on this show, there's some desperation.
If I have the level of desperation that says I'm going to allow strangers to have me fill out a questionnaire and match me with somebody based on my answers from a questionnaire, then I should at least give it the effort to be like, hey, I'm all in for these 8 weeks. And I'm not saying you can't spend time with your friends, but one thing that we can all, I don't say all, but the majority of people say, when you get into a new relationship, it's a new relationship bubble that you create.
Yeah.
It's like when you actually like that person, you want to spend so much time with that person.
Your friends definitely take a backseat.
Right, unless this person knew your friends, like you got hooked up as a byproduct of friendship, your friends take a backseat to that new situation.
But somebody you met at the grocery store returning a video at the Red Box, that like you just gonna stick with those people, that person, to figure out who this person is and if you like this person.
Okay, Tom.
No, I'm just saying, it's like I talked to my friend about that. Mm-hmm. She was like, you must be talking to a new girl. It's like, why you say that? Because I ain't heard from you or talked to you in a while. We're good friends today. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that. But it's that thing. It's, hey, take the time to like truly know your person. Mm-hmm. I think at this point, we're getting to see him wear her down, because I think the biggest thing that I think helped out a lot was to help her relax a little bit more around him, was when they played Twister. Mm-hmm. And I think that allowed her to...
I'm not wearing any panties.
Right. And I don't think I would have approached that completely. I would have had to see it. Let me see. It's the next thing I would have said. I don't believe you. It's the next thing I would have said. But it's like, you know, I think that helped her, because I think their goal was the intimacy part, like trying to find the attraction, trying to find the intimacy between them. They didn't touch in the Twister, but it was like he's still playing that role of, I don't know how far I can take this. Mm-hmm. But is
it something that she did that made him feel like he couldn't?
I mean, like, the thing about it is she's the pretty one in the group, or not in the group, but between them. Mm-hmm. And he's a person that I want to respect her, and I want to respect her boundaries.
Did you have that issue with me? I'm trying to respect the boundary?
Yeah, but I told you what it was.
I don't remember. We'll revisit this conversation off camera.
Yeah, right. But it's like he doesn't want to push the envelope too hard for her, because one, he already knows she's not truly attracted to him. Mm-hmm. And two, it's a thing of him being a nice guy.
Yeah.
Right? Him saying, okay, well, I'm gonna take my time with you on this, because you haven't brought it up in conversation of what you want and things like that. So it's like, you can only take it so far before it's predatory. Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't think he's thinking about it from a predatory standpoint, but I do think that he's thinking about it from I want to respect whatever boundary you have standpoint. So curious to see what happens with them.
How many couples we got?
We got one more couple left, which is
go back.
Camille and Thomas.
Okay.
Like, let's see. Camille is 32 and Thomas is 42.
Thomas is a banker and Camille is listed as a startup production manager. Mm-hmm. Don't know what that means.
I don't either. But from the jump, I was like, they like each other.
I'm sorry. When I first read startup production manager, I was like, she works for a startup. That means that her job title is not very clear for what she actually does.
She does everything.
Like, she does a whole bunch of random things, and this is the job title that they settled on.
Well, yeah, I think from the jump, they like beautiful people. Mm-hmm. And I thought, like, without Thomas opening his mouth, she was smitten by his appearance. Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought that they were the couple that it was them, and then also Carla and Juan, that when they looked at each other, I was like, okay, they cool. They like what they see. Like, they good. And even in their additional conversation, Camille has a permanent smile on her face. Sometimes I be wanting to be like, just have a RBF.
Yeah.
But she definitely liked what she saw in him. And I think it was the same on his side as well.
Until he opened his mouth. And she started talking about the swag.
Well, now that I know that he's a banker, I'm like, he definitely has a bank voice.
No, it's the way that
he's a personal banker. Or what do they call them when you start dealing with the people that's got commas in their bank accounts?
I don't forget. He's one of those.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
Your boy that drove the Rover when you were a banker.
But no, he. I think the biggest issue that she brought up was the fact that she was like, he doesn't have swag, or he's not black enough for her.
And I was just like, first off, again, if you guys watched our previous reviews, I didn't know that Thomas identified as black.
I did.
I didn't, but that's because when I looked at his mother, his birth mother, I was like, okay, she's not a black woman. Yeah. I thought that he would identify as biracial. I don't know. But we also didn't know what his dad looked like, so can't really go from there either, right? But
also for me, the conversation that we had,
you just looked at him.
I just looked at him. I was like, that's a brother. But also,
well, I called them the other black couple.
But also, I think Latin and Hispanics are our
Latinx.
Yeah, I think all of them are in the same group as us. So
I ain't gonna fight you on it,
right?
But the black factor is just like, first off, we're on TV. So you're going to get a side of me that's the television side until the cameras go down. Now, he might feel like he still got to be on when the cameras go down. But I guess, especially since I've moved to Georgia, because Metro Atlanta is such a vast type of people. I was just like, when he said that he grew up in like a multicultural area, I was thinking like Covington Winder. He fits that bill.
That's not a multicultural area, by the way.
No. I mean,
that's
like
a white area.
It's a white area, but your friends that are there are going to be across the board different cultures.
But the thing that I was thinking for her, right, was she's wanting him to be the black guy, or the offense that I took. Or I ain't take offense to it, but it was just like, oh, you gotta let this go. Is that it's not 68. We're not in the 60s. We're not in the 70s where black people had to be a certain way. It's 2024, and the diaspora of black people today, men and women, goes across the board.
Also, apparently, when they consummated the marriage, it appears that he did some things that other black men had not done. And she was like, all right, cool.
Apparently, he hit a spot that she never had touched before.
Like, I mean, do you not see my husband? He is a black man.
he became a black man then, didn't he? He'll put it down and she fell in love, man. He crazy. Hey, and kudos to her. Cause she put some tears in his eyes.
I mean,
I don't care what nobody say,
man.
It. I do not care. He was talking about love and it made him cry. But they were talking about them consummating the marriage, and the immediate next thing, he started to tear up.
He was like,
that thing hit his heart real well.
I may have not loved a lot. But I know enough to know that, hey, this could be love.
Yeah.
I'm cool and she cool. But the kicker was not just that he cried. It was that she took him to the urban jewelry store.
Yeah.
And got him some earrings.
Put the earrings in. Let me see what you look like. She gonna change him into the black man that she want. The strong black man she want.
I mean, your shoe game on point, babe. You just need the earrings to match.
Yeah. She was like, I don't got enough for the chain, but Anyway, I think for them, to see them working out the ways, I think the way that she communicated with the experts when they sat down with Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal, mm-hmm. I think that's how you're supposed to explain the way that you're feeling. Mm-hmm. Like, I completely got it. I didn't feel like you were taking jabs at him. And I felt like you respected him enough to say what you needed to say and receive what he's saying, because you welcomed his feedback. Mm-hmm. And then you heard what the experts were saying. I love that about
They
her.
Also had an extra expert. Her sister.
They did. Her sister needs to be paid.
Her sister was like, Camille, don't F this up.
Basically.
Let me help you put into words what you're trying to say, so basically, we can fix your thinking.
Because they're all mixed. Mm-hmm. They're all mixed. And so because of that, they have an understanding of how life is. And her explain, because they have a outlook on life that I personally wouldn't experience. Our kids, you don't experience, because
the closest person to me that would have experienced that would have been my grandfather.
Right.
And my grandfather still very much, even as a biracial man, identified as a black man, mm-hmm. because he was not raised with his white family.
Right.
So it's just like, all right, you black, you identify as black, but people that see you be like, something else in
there. Right. Yeah, exactly.
But my granddad would see me like, I'm black.
Yeah.
And dare you to check it.
As a black man. But it's like you see that and you hear her sister talk and you're like, that's it. Mm-hmm. Thank you for saying it. Like, I literally was like, appreciate you saying that, because now, because we needed to get past that.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't get past that, that was the sword that they were gonna fall into. Mm-hmm. But
you also can tell with production that they find an issue.
For a story.
They find an issue, even if it's not an issue that you have as a couple, they find an issue and they're wanting to amplify the issue.
Yeah.
So it's like, for some of this stuff, how many times is it that Camille really felt like saying something about him being a black man? Or how many times is it that production was like, and we're going to talk about race? Yeah. Go. Mm-hmm. And it felt like it was a lot of that.
Because, like, honestly, man, we're looking at it as it not being as important as it could be to her. Mm-hmm. She could, like, that could be one of the things that's very important to her.
But that, I don't remember if it was the last episode or the episode before that. She wrapped it up here with a bow. And she was like, we ain't got to talk about this no more.
Right.
He black. Let's move on. Let's find a new issue for us to, like.
Right.
Bring up
the swag. I don't care about swag no more.
I got him some earrings, guys.
Right.
We're done.
Right. It's it. That's all I need, you know. But anyway, with that being said, man, that's our deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining our TED Talk. No, but I hope these next weeks coming that we can really start to enjoy even more. Like for me, this season has been much better season than last season.
Oh, absolutely. I'm still watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think this was around the time that I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
I fought through it.
What city was that?
I can't dash. No.
Denver. Denver?
Was it? I'm not sure.
Whatever.
I'm not sure.
I just gave up.
Yeah. It was tough. It was a tough season last season, but
this one I'm still in. I don't hate the people yet.
Yeah, it's like, man, it's like my favorite couple is Camille and Thomas. I think if they keep going on a trajectory that they're going, I think we get a yes from them, and they are able to work through whatever issues they're gonna have. Of course, I think David and that girl Michelle is going to say no strictly because.
Are you doing predictions?
Well, I mean, like, yeah, strictly because it ain't real predictions, but it's just like
they're definitely a no for me.
They're gonna say no, and my toss up is Allen and Madison.
Allen and Madison, I think could work, but she wants a Juan.
Yeah. And then Juan and Carla. Juan is not gonna get past Carla's dependency. So they're gonna be no. And then bringing up
and Ikechi.
Yeah.
Ikechi don't like her.
There's no comeback.
He don't like her. He hasn't liked her since the beginning.
And one thing I didn't mention is I definitely think Ikechi is doing this for publicity. Like, this is a publicity stunt for him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you gain from it. Because if the world thinks you're a joke after the publicity stunt, did it really go your direction? Because our press isn't good press.
I don't think he's looking at it that way.
I don't know.
You said something that makes so much sense to me that I never thought about.
What I say?
It was you was like, he was 41, no kids, and never been married. That's a bad look for a 40-year-old. But if he can say he was a 41-year-old divorcee,
yep,
you know, that's a better look, which is crazy because for women, you can't say the same thing.
No, I think you can, because if you met a 41-year-old woman who doesn't have kids and never had a husband, you would be like, what's wrong with her?
Or if you met a 41-year-old woman who was a divorcee or got divorced, you would be like, what's wrong with her? I wouldn't
go on to the what's wrong with her. But
the issue with older women being single, they have to find people in their age range.
No, they ain't gonna be somebody.
I mean, like, because the younger folks, because their reproduction.
Oh, that's if you want to reproduce.
Right.
You just go become somebody's stepmama.
Yeah. But anyway.
If you decide to get married.
Anyway, that's our deep dive for these couples on Married at First Sight, season 18. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I did. What else? Like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on the couples. And let's have that discussion, man.
And we'll see y'all in the new year. Because it's going to be next year before we put out another video after this.
Well, this one is coming out on the new year.
Oh, it is? I thought it was coming out before.
Oh, we said Wednesday.
Never mind then. I guess we'll see y'all later on this week.
Tune into us later this week where we drop some more stuff. So we out. Peace.
Bye, y'all.